Joshua, do you believe Fernando Alonso is making the right move considering Vettel and the team struggle really in 2021 and 2022?
I'll admit I was shocked when after Hungary we heard that this was the deal, because our understanding was that we knew Sebastian was retiring and it was going to be Mick Schumacher taking over his seat. Apparently Fernando walked in and said, I want to drive here. The team obviously went, okay, because they're going to take a world champion. Of course they are. They've lost one, they're going to take another. So Alonso and Aston, I think Alonso likes building teams now. I think he's built up Alpine as best as they can be. They finished fourth in the Constructors' Championship this year after getting ahead of McLaren, who finished in fifth. I think going to Aston Martin, who have ended the season technically seventh, but technically joint sixth because them and Alfa Romeo are level on points on 55. So I think he likes developing teams in his old age. He just enjoys racing. He enjoys getting a team to work. And I think Aston Martin can still be good. They've had a very bad couple of seasons since they joined the team, but they're getting it together. And I think we could see them battling for the same positions as Alpine next season. So I think it's an okay move for now if it works out in testing, because he likes developing the team. So he'll whip them into shape, no problem. But it's risky at the moment, but I've got confidence he knows what he's doing. But then again, I'm sure Ben's going to say something about how every team he's been to and left, they start winning.
The right move for Fernando Alonso will always and forever, until further notice, be coming to America to run a full IndyCar season schedule so that he can truly commit to the Indianapolis 500 and therefore a Triple Crown. Until that happens, Fernando Alonso bumping from midfield team to midfield team, I just don't understand what he has to gain at this point in his career. And Josh, I'll throw this question to you. Which is better for Fernando Alonso's legacy? Winning the Triple Crown, or at least continuing to fight for the Triple Crown, or being remembered as a fantastic world champion who always was in the wrong place at the wrong time in Formula One, but at least he got to help Alpine and Aston Martin towards the end of his career. I just feel like Fernando Alonso has so much more to gain coming here to IndyCar to commit to the Indy 500 than he does going to fight for 11th with Aston Martin, just as he was fighting for 11th with Alpine this season. But I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
I completely agree with you, Ben. It's something that Fernando needs to. Fernando, blimey, I'm tired. Fernando definitely needs to do. He needs to go over to America, commit to a full season and a couple of seasons as well of IndyCar, and get a grip on that car to properly challenge for the 500. And I think he could do it as well. So I don't know why. I thought that was going. I thought he'll see out the contract at Alpine and head off to the States and do the 500. I'm surprised he's taken up another 2-year contract. And he's holding back Drugovich now. Drugovich would have been perfect, and he's holding them back. And Megan's going to come down and hit me in a minute. I think she's working there. But Alonso doesn't really fit in Formula One anymore. I think he fits better in WEC. He fits better he's done WEC to death now. So I think he fits better at Indy trying for the 500, because we know Castronova has proved it. Doesn't matter how old you are. If you are fast, if you've got the determination, you've got the knowledge, you will win the 500.
Yes, you can win the 500 in your mid-40s, like you just said. It's unprecedented. When Michael Schumacher came back in his early 40s, he was not any more in his prime than, what compared to where he was in Ferrari. I know Mercedes, was kind of a similar situation. Actually, was helping build them up, and I don't think Michael gets nearly enough credit for the job that Mercedes have done.
On my screen right now, I'm just seeing they've actually cable tied De Vries to the trolley and are wheeling him down. I wish I could show you right now, but the whole team, they just wheeled him in as well. He's got a beer in his hand as well. So go on, Ben.
Nice. No worries. No, just what I was saying about Alonso. I think you brought up a great point with Drugovich as well. And I wanted to reiterate, the 2021 F2 champion was Oscar Piastri. He wasn't on the grid this year. He was affiliated with Alpine. Who was in the Alpine this year? Fernando Alonso. Who's going to be in the Aston Martin next year while Felipe Drugovich is a reserve driver? It's going to be Fernando Alonso. So in a way, Fernando Alonso, you could almost argue, is single-handedly responsible for the fact that the last two Formula 2 champions were not on the Formula 1 grid, and he's out here at 40 years old, or whatever it is, in his early 40s now, puttering around fighting for points at best most weekends, when he could be fighting for a Triple Crown in IndyCar. It's just, I like what we've seen the entire back half of his career. It's a career move and a career decision that he's made that just makes very little sense to me.